And I think his next opponent needs to be something special.
I think Ilia is a genuine KO threat.
It's Ilia Topuria.
I don't know who I got. I want to see Ilia win his next fight just so we can see Islam versus Ilia. That would be the biggest, most skillful fight of all time. It would be honestly hard to beat.
How would Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev go? That's kind of the operative question here. How would that go? Well, it's kind of funny, right? I think Ilia is a genuine KO threat. And I do think he can put up a better first stage defensive wrestling job than JDM did. But if he's not able to knock Islam out early, I think that he eventually gets worn down and beaten too. 145er coming up like that, I did not grow more confident about Ilia's chances based on watching this fight. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't fill me with like great confidence. Oh, well, I mean, the guy to beat him is clearly Ilia Topuria. I think that the Ilia Topuria fight makes sense for a few reasons. Promotionally, stylistically, and almost a necessity for the sport to make big fights. But did y'all watch that and think, oh yeah, Ilia is definitely gonna... Oh, I saw something here. I thought Ilia had a chance before. Now I'm really sure. Did y'all watch that and think that? I didn't. I wouldn't say that's the impression that I got. I take Ilia's chances of winning very seriously, and I do think he can put up a better fight, even as big as Jack is at 170. I absolutely think that. But at the same time, I think that Islam is so fucking comprehensively good. And again, we haven't even talked about the fact that much that this dude went up 15 pounds to do this. He looked plenty strong for me at 170 pounds. That's a tough ass fight. I mean, it would be kind of miraculous is a strong word. It'd be surprising if Ilia was able to win that one, especially if they contest that at 170. So Ilia can hold on to the 55 belt.
It's a matter of making the right choices and sticking to those choices come fight time. And we made the right choices. We stuck to it. And this is what the plan was in training camp. And this is what Islam did. He executed perfectly. But don't get me wrong. We were ready to do whatever we needed to do. But this was our number one game plan is what we did. And we pulled it off. As a fighter, you got to try to mark up the fights and get everybody involved. And he does a great job of doing that, you know. So let's see what happens, you know. If the UFC offers him, then no problem. I mean, I can't answer for Islam, but I'm saying no problem. Islam and his, you know, Ali, you know, who I consider the greatest manager in the business, will do the right thing for Islam. So, you know, but let's face it, you know, we're going to meet him eventually, whether it's the White House or whether it's another time. Let the UFC decide that, I say. But we're going to meet him eventually if he wants to continue to come up. But I seriously doubt Islam will want to come down. And for him, it's the first time anybody will ever go for a triple, right? He'll be the first triple challenger for it. So that would be a monster fight for the whole world, to be honest with you.
Hey, that is correct. Even after he went out there, he beat Jack Della Maddalena. He became a two-weight division champion. He tied the winning streak of Anderson Silva of 16 wins in a row. And given all that, he's still the most boring fighter in the game. First of all, I just want to say, they're not my words. They are the words of the lightweight champ and the former featherweight champion, Ilia Matador Topuria. Of course, these two don't like one another, and they do seem destined to fight at some stage. And of course, people are going to say stuff like that because they want to fight each other. So he's trying to poke the bear, and he's trying to get that matchup. Ilia says that Islam ran away to 170 because he was scared of Ilia and all the rest of it.
Makhachev dominated JDM over 5 rounds. Can make a quick turnaround. I don't know if you can just do Makhachev versus any old random guy or an Usman that's 1-3 in his last 4 fights. Like, it's at the point now where Makhachev's at GOAT status. That's what this fight represented. That's what becoming a double champion represented. Makhachev's in the GOAT conversation. Not top 10, not top 5. He's there. He's right there at the top. And I think his next opponent needs to be something special. It's Ilia Topuria. We got to run it. But when do we run it is the question that I want to ask now. Look at that crafty smirk, dude. He knows something we don't about this matchup. But my take is on this situation. Islam Makhachev's next fight should be Ilia Topuria. But Ilia Topuria's got to do a title defense at lightweight, man. If Arman Sarukian, and this is coming up this weekend, Arman Sarukian versus Dan Hooker in Qatar. If Dan Hooker wins, forget it. Run Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev. If Arman Sarukian wins, you got to do Ilia Topuria versus Arman Sarukian in January or February on a Paramount pay-per-view, and then run Makhachev versus Topuria in the White House. First of all, you can't just have Ilia Topuria gallivanting around divisions while he's got deserving contenders that need to have their own chance at legacy themselves in Arman if he does defeat Dan Hooker, which I assume he will. But I think we have to gamble it. We have to gamble it. Just like we gambled Makhachev JDM. Right? Was this part of Makhachev's plan to draw Topuria up to 170 where he'd have a much better chance of winning, in my opinion? Yes. But he had to gamble this fight. We could have just made the fight. We didn't. He gambled this.
The next fight it's gotta be Ilia. Ilia's got to go out there and beat Justin Gaethje. He's got to go out there and beat Patty. Whoever he beats, he's got to go out there and get the job done. But Ilia, I'm so curious if Islam can do this to Ilia. Ilia, he matches that skill set, and I just feel like it would be a lot closer of a fight than Jack versus Islam was. That's the fight you have to make. That's the fight that should have made this time, but they didn't. But that's okay. Islam got the job done. Ilia, it's like even if he's going against Patty, it's like I don't know who I got. I want to see Ilia win his next fight just so we can see Islam versus Ilia. That would be the biggest, most skillful fight of all time, and it would be honestly hard to beat. I don't see who Islam doesn't do this to in that division. Yeah, we haven't really seen Ilia get tested in the grappling.
I think he goes down as one of the best ever, yeah. Yeah, he mentioned the White House, but I think he'll defend his belt before the White House. The White House is until July, is it? Let's see what happens, lad, you never know. Ilia's been saying he wants to go up and fight him, lad, but you've got other contenders there now. Morales, Prates, you've then got Ian Gary if he beats Bilal next week. Shavkat as well, who needs to come back. He's been the #1 contender for about a year. They're all exciting matchups for Islam at the welterweight division. At the moment, could be becoming more exciting than the lightweight division. I don't think any division has been more exciting than lightweight. And
no one's going to like this. There's one guy and one guy only that should have the next fight with Islam Makhachev, but I don't think it's going to happen. It needs to be Ilia Topuria, and it needs to be at 55, but Islam talking about how he didn't have to cut weight and how much of a blessing it was. I don't know if he's ever going back down there. He acts like he is. Maybe. We'll see. If it's going to be at the White House, give me Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria. That would be fucking fire. I would love that. But it seems like they have other plans for Ilia first, so we'll see. But if you can't get that one done, like I said, there's all these other 170s that I already named off that you can't do.